The wait is over. The road to WrestleMania is only less than 24 hours away as Mickie James proclaims on Impact Wrestling TV that she wants to put her title on the line at WrestleMania when she wins the Royal Rumble. Plus, we got a whole lot more news on what's going down this weekend in St. Louis with special appearances by many WWE legends and celebrities. And we got some more news on Triple H. Will he make his way back to NXT? And what's the scoop with the NXT superstars in the Royal Rumble? We're going to jump into all of that and more in today's Freestyle Friday edition of the Top Story. Here we go. Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out. What's up, everyone? This is the Top Story. Let me adjust this and get this correct here. Here we go. What's up, everyone? It's the Top Story here on Sportskeeda Wrestling. I'm Jose G. Next to me is Jeremy Bennett. Right down here is the true heel, the top heel himself, True Heel Heat's own SP3. What's up, boys? How y'all doing?
It's Friday.
It's Freestyle Friday. I got to get my soundboard ready to go here. But yeah, guys, a lot of stories today. Sid, you've been busy all day. You had the preview earlier this morning with Kenny Bolin. You've been on numerous podcasts and watching parties. So you've been really busy today. So appreciate you filling in for Kevin today while he's doing media stuff today for us at Royal Rumble. But guys, a lot of stories to jump into today. As always, remember to like, share, and subscribe. We're on our way to 30,000 on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel. So appreciate you guys. If you just engage with the show, hit that like button, hit that heart button, the angry emoji, whatever you all want to do. Just engage with the show, subscribe, and smash that notification bell so you never miss whenever we drop brand new content. We got some interviews that are going to be dropping this weekend, and we got the post show tomorrow for the Royal Rumble. We also got the tier list special and the trivia, which this man right down here won by pulling a little bit of shenanigans doing the three faces of Foley, but we'll call it the three faces of SP3.
A lot of shenanigans.
What? I don't know what you guys are talking about. It's a very, common story of having twin cousins, and I'm one of those guys that has two of them. So it's just
you have two twin cousins.
Yes, I have two twin cousins, not
born separately.
Born separately, separated at birth, and we met in a mall because we were about to get the same clothing. So all of that is natural, but I am ready for a fun weekend. Royal Rumble weekend's one of my favorites of the year, and there's a lot to talk about, and superstars being called up in many different ways.
Yeah, man. Let's jump right into it. Let's dive into these headlines today. Let's talk about Mickie James. As you guys, we all have been reporting here on Sportskeeda, Mickie James has been declared for this year's Royal Rumble. It's WWE's version of knocking open that forbidden door. She's talked a bit about it publicly, not only on podcast, but also on Impact Wrestling TV last night. She had the state of the knockouts division of the championship right now in the division in Impact Wrestling. And she made a very bold statement that when she wins at the Royal Rumble, she will be putting her Impact Knockouts World Championship on the line at WrestleMania, title for title. Now, in a perfect world, if this were to happen, this would be monumental. This would be crazy. This would be one of the biggest things that's ever happened in pro wrestling. But in all reality, do we even expect this to even go down, Jeremy?
Well, she's got to defeat Tasha Steelz next month first to be able to defend that title at WrestleMania. I'm 50-50 on that right now. I could see Tasha taking that title from Mickie. I would not be surprised if that happens. I've seen people predict her to win the Rumble. I don't know. I don't predict it, but I can see some people feeling like this could really shake up the industry with really knocking over the forbidden door by having an Impact superstar win an Impact champion win the Royal Rumble. I think it would be monumental. I think it would be good booking. I think it would open the door up. I just don't think it's going to happen, Sid.
I mean, I don't either. I think it's great that she's able to be in the Royal Rumble match. And the most that I think most of us can ask for is maybe, hopefully, WWE, has caught my interview with Mickie James where she said her number one dream match is to versus Charlotte Flair, and we have Mickie James eliminate Charlotte Flair to set up that champion versus champion battle. She doesn't have to win the Royal Rumble this year to get a match
true.
at WrestleMania. So there's definitely certain scenarios that can go down. It was a very passionate, great promo that she did on Impact Wrestling last night, putting over, the stars there like Deonna Purrazzo, Gail Kim, Tasha Steelz, Chelsea Green. She did a great job of kind of putting over the roster there and promoting her appearance in the Royal Rumble, which I'm very excited for. But I don't think we are going to have a champion versus champion match at WrestleMania.
Yeah, and I think all those points are 100% valid. And even some of you guys that are sounding off in the comments, like David Barkley on YouTube, is saying, is Impact prepared to have their talent lose their title on WWE TV? Because Vince definitely isn't let his go. I want Tussin Villa. Only difference is I could get the. So yeah, so a lot of people have that mindset where, WWE are going to protect their own, especially since it's such a big show, right? So they're not going to want to have their own drop to an outsider. So it's a very delicate situation, but never say never, man. This is the weirdest time in professional wrestling history. We have all these doors being crossed from New Japan to Impact to AEW, and now here at the Royal Rumble with Impact coming in over. It's not only a crazy time in pro wrestling, but it's a great time to be a wrestling fan.
I mean, Impact Wrestling, just watching the last night's episode, I was tweeting about it. They had references to Mickie James in WWE's Royal Rumble. They had Dan Lambert from AEW in the crowd. They had Honor No More from ROH, and they had the Bullet Club from New Japan Pro Wrestling. Yeah. Impact Wrestling is the forbidden door.
You're absolutely right.
They literally had references to every other promotion last night on their show. So, I hope that Mickie James' appearance in the Royal Rumble will lead to more wrestling fans going out of their way to watch Impact, because they have a consistently enjoyable show that makes sense. You don't have a lot of the head scratchers. If it was WWE booking, Mickie James probably would have lost the title at Hard to Kill, like I thought was going to happen. But Impact Wrestling is actually smart and think about these things. They know it's going to be promotion for them by having Mickie hold that title into the Royal Rumble.
Yeah. It'll be interesting to see what WWE does in regards to this going forward, or if this is just a Royal Rumble thing. I mean, there were reports where they do want to bring in outsiders going forward, but that doesn't necessarily mean wrestlers. I mean, that you're seeing that with Jeff Jarrett and Eric Bischoff, but that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to see a Jon Moxley show up or on Raw and SmackDown. It'd be fun, it'd be cool, but I wouldn't hold my breath on that when they talk about wanting to bring in outsiders.
Yeah, man. I think, again, like I said just a few minutes ago, it's just a very interesting time in as things develop with this whole Forbidden Door. We'll see what happens tomorrow at the Royal Rumble. Guys, it is Freestyle Friday, so make sure you sound off in the comments and get your questions in, and we'll make sure you guys control the last segment of the show. Again, Freestyle Friday.
Look who's watching us today. Look who's watching us live from St. Louis.
He's on assignment in St. Louis, doing some media work for us down there. So keep an eye on the channel, because we will be dropping some of those interviews that Kevin got for us today. Guys, let's jump into this big news today with Jeff Hardy. Jeff Hardy, Fightful Select dropped a story today that Dave Meltzer during his show, he said that John Laurinaitis reportedly called Jeff Hardy and offered him a spot in the 2022 Hall of Fame, a way to get him back into the company. Hardy reportedly turned down the offer and wanted the results from his drug test, which reportedly took 6 weeks to get. So my indication, even though we didn't get any confirmation or report saying that Jeff Hardy tested negative in his drug test with WWE, the fact that the officials in the company reached out to Jeff Hardy means that he tested negative.
Yes, they screwed up.
They screwed up big time. They jumped the gun way too quick on releasing Jeff Hardy. And now they got to bite the bullet, because now WWE is like, oh, we want to bring you back in. And we want to bring you back in. And, hey, let's do
people power.
People power. Let's do Hall of Fame. Nah, I'm good.
That's a really good Johnny
I'm going to AEW.
Thanks, bro. Thanks, Sid.
I'm going to go hang with my brother. in AEW. Thanks, but no thanks.
Yeah, man, I think he's going to be way happier doing stuff with his brother. He's already got a show booked coming up in March or in February.
Yeah.
And whenever his non-compete is done, they already started the beginnings of the split of the HFO, bro. The Hardy family organization, the business, they're separating. They're disbanding. He sold 51% of it to Andrade. So that's the beginning of Matt Hardy kind of abandoning what's going on with him, with that faction. And now I think he's going to concentrate with Jeff Hardy. Sid, what'd you say, man?
It's very, very interesting that this is now 4 or 5 times in the past 8 months that we've heard WWE making just stupid decisions, whether it's releasing somebody, whether it's somebody they didn't know when their contract expires, letting a WrestleMania main eventer walk out the door and you think he's just going to spend time with his family, and then he shows up at All Out. You had the Adam Cole situation. They didn't know Malachi Black was on a 30-day non-compete clause. And now, because Jeff Hardy looked a little dazed and confused at a house show, you decided, oh, he has a drug problem. We're going to offer him rehab. And if he turns down the rehab, we got to release him. And then you find out the dude tested negative. Oh my God. We should not even be surprised anymore when we find out that WWE made a decision without thinking about other things or looking into other things before they made a decision, because this has happened consistently over the past 8 months. For Jeff Hardy, I know that it has to be vindication because he immediately came out when he was released and said that he didn't have a drug problem. He had Matt come out and say that Jeff is all right. Jeff doesn't have the issues, and you'll find out the truth when it comes out. And I've established here on Sportskeeda Wrestling that I have a little intel as well as WWE goes. And from my intel, they said that is preposterous that it took 6 weeks to give him his drug test when it usually takes 2. When my intel was working in that department, it took 2 weeks to get a drug test. Does not take 6 weeks.
Listen, I don't even know.
WWE, I feel like WWE was trying to hide something. That's what it is.
For real, because I mean, here in Florida, dude, you can go and get a drug test and you'll get results in 3 to 4 business days. Okay, it doesn't take 2 weeks to get drug test back. So it's a little preposterous, just like you said, Sid, that it took 6 weeks for them to get that, and that's definitely a cover up. They knew they effed up. They knew it. They knew.
Yeah. I think Woods came out. It was either Woods or came out. It was a concussion, is what it was, because Hardy got hit in the head. I think Woods came out and said that on that live event, and that's what caused him to be at Loopy. And so they didn't even think to even check on that. They just assumed. And so, well, look what happened. He's going to go to the competition now. So.
David Barkley sounding off here on the comment. 6-week drug test. My God, they got COVID home test and results are immediate, cheap, and exactly. So you can get a COVID test to see if you're about to die or not. But then if you want to find out if you have some type of chemical in your system, it takes 2 weeks, 6 weeks. Get the hell out of here, man. I think
that's funny. They try to kiss his ass with a Hall of Fame. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Oh, hey,
same Hall of Fame that Drew Carey is in, or Coco Beware. Yeah, wow.
It's Johnny Ace here. Let's put you in the Hall of Fame this year. No, I'm good.
People power.
If you follow TMZ, a WWE Hall of Famer just attempted to stab somebody with a scissors. So
cool.
Not the prestigious thing that WWE thinks it is. Just saying.
All right, guys, let's move on to some Royal Rumble news, guys, because there's a lot of stuff going on this weekend in St. Louis. We got some potential spoilers on who could possibly be showing up this weekend, along with some other names that are being possibly discussed and being called up from NXT. Right now, we got several reports, especially from PW Insider, that Caitlyn has been seen in St. Louis. Now, she hasn't wrestled for WWE since the Mae Young Classic back in 2018. And she did appear, her last time in WWE was during a Raw reunion segment back in 2019. But she hasn't done really much pro wrestling since then. And there's some other names reported. Hall of Famer JBL, he usually does some of the pre-shows. Jerry Lawler is also in town. He does some of the pre-shows as well, and the kickoff stuff. But some of the notable names have been reported that have been seen this week have been some names along the likes of Shane McMahon. We've got Oksana being reported being around there, Melina, Cameron, Bad Bunny. He's being reported to be in town as well. Asuka, Kairi Sane, Ronda Rousey, which has been another one that's been reported a big time this week. Braun Breaker, Gunther, and Raquel Gonzalez. So these are big names, some of them from NXT making their way up, but big names that are there. Now, these names don't necessarily mean that they are going to be in the Rumble match, but they're big names nonetheless that could make an appearance or do something or do some type of segment during the Premium Live event tomorrow night. I'm going to shoot this over to you, Sid. Some of these names that I just listed, are you surprised on some of these names? Are you expecting some other names?
I mean, honestly, that Oksana name, I thought I would never hear that name again. That is like, oh, you got to be a deep cut fan of WWE to remember Oksana's run. And she was the original manager of Cesaro. She was more featured on like the NXT when it was the game show and stuff. So that was a name that very much surprised me. But I'm ready. Like everyone else, I've seen people say, no one wants to see her, yet every single wrestling fan has talked about this person all week. Ronda Rousey is the biggest story about Royal Rumble week. If she shows up, that's a dramatic shift in what we've been presented in WWE. Go back and watch 2018 to WrestleMania 35 and how WWE treated women's wrestling and compare that to the past 3 years since Ronda Rousey left. We are going to see women wrestling focused and spotlighted on more because you have a star, the value of Ronda Rousey. I'm ready for her to be number 30, eliminate everybody, including Bianca Belair as the final participant, just to angry everybody. If it's not Bianca, it's going to be Asuka because she overshadowed her win in 2018. Why not just eliminate her and ruin a second attempt to win the Royal Rumble? I just want to see the social media world burn and Ronda Rousey wins. That's what I'm all about for the Royal Rumble.
We're on the same wavelength, dude, because all I want to see is the reaction. I want to see everybody's reaction because I'm going to laugh so hard at everyone's reaction. Go ahead, Jeremy. I'm sorry.
I don't get the hate for Rousey. I mean, people are hating on her, but people are hating on it, but yet she's going to get a pop. So
exactly.
Yeah, it's just some certain marks that are upset about it, and but it's going to be good to have her back, and it's going to be good if she's in the Rumble. Otherwise, if she's not in the Rumble, she's going to probably show up and confront Becky after her match with Doudrop because it's been reported by Dave Meltzer that she's going to. The plans are Rousey and Becky at WrestleMania, so it's not a given that she's going to be in the Rumble. She could just show up after that title match.
I mean, that sounds like, I'm going to be honest, Jeremy, that sounds like a stupid idea, but it sounds like something WWE would do. Yeah. You don't have Ronda Rousey. You don't have Ronda Rousey come back at the Royal Rumble and not be in the Rumble match, but this is the WWE.
Well, how did she debut? How did she debut?
She debuted after a Rumble match and just pointed at the WrestleMania sign.
That was about putting a focus and spotlight on the Royal Rumble because Ronda Rousey debuting allowed ESPN to talk about what happened before she debuted. That's attention on the Women's Royal Rumble. Her coming out after the least interesting match on the Royal Rumble card does not interest me in the least bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I would like to see her in the Rumble, and hopefully they do it that way instead of having her come out after the title match.
And just point.
Yeah, we already did that 4 years ago.
Hey, you know how WWE loves to rehash storylines and segments and bits, so we might get that. We might get that. Speaking on some more surprises and some guys that are possibly being called up, there's some news now that WWE is reportedly very high on a couple of NXT superstars. One of them being L.A. Knight.
Yeah.
The second one being Joe Gacy. Apparently, they're very high on both of these individuals. We've seen and we've heard reports of L.A. Knight partaking on some of the dark matches or even main event matches prior to SmackDown and Raw. Him and Tommaso Ciampa have been there along with Roderick Strong. We haven't heard much about Joe Gacy, but this is the first major report that WWE officials are kind of high on Joe Gacy. And the prime reason is because they feel that that character can connect on a broad spectrum. And I believe that. I believe that that character of Joe Gacy right now, what he's doing with the extra wokeness and being all inclusive in the safe space, that really resonates with a lot of people right now, especially with the status of the country, which is a whole nother conversation. But WWE does one thing right a lot of the times, and when they do characters based on what's going on currently in pop culture, they can nail it pretty good. And I think with Joe Gacy, I think they could do something tremendous with him in the main roster. He gives me some of those Bray Wyatt vibes a little bit, but a little bit more cleaned up.
Yeah, I thought immediately when he debuted, a lot of people didn't like it, and I liked the character. I thought maybe they were really a little overbearing on the buzzwords. I think they were really trying way too hard to get those over. They kind of eased up on that and just focused on Gacy's character. And boom, I see people that were hating on it now liking the character. It's kind of amazing how that works. I kind of saw him as kind of like a Waylon Mercy, if you remember that guy from back in the 90s, if you know what I mean. That was the first thing I noticed out of that was him. I could see Bray Wyatt as well. And plus he's very talented in the ring as well. If you've seen him wrestle, if you haven't been paying attention to NXT 2.0, he's a good wrestler too. So yeah, I think he could definitely have success in the main roster.
I mean, to be fair, they haven't gave him much of a chance to wrestle on NXT 2.0. Like, I think the longest match he had was against Roddy at NXT War Games. I think Joe Gacy is someone that hasn't been really utilized the way that he should. He should be having longer matches. He should be able to talk without buzzwords. And I think that they've kind of went in the direction of putting more of the focus on the act on Harland, which has, him basically hyping up Harland has allowed, WWE officials to see something in him. And I think it's something in common that we see with Joe Gacy and LA Knight. They're looking for guys that are good on the mic. They're not looking for the best workers, because they had Pete Dunne, Tommaso Ciampa, and Roderick Strong on doing dark matches on the main roster. And now in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, the reports are there's plans for those three on NXT, no plans for them on the main roster. So I'm just saying right now you can see what direction they want for their main roster call-ups. So those are two guys that are good talkers, that are good characters. It makes sense.
Yeah, so with LA Knight, it looks like, according to Dave Meltzer, he might be on camera on SmackDown tonight. Of course, you saw him, if you pay attention to socials, you saw that he had an interaction with the Dirty Dogs on a digital exclusive after SmackDown last week. So it looks like he's going to probably continue something with the Dirty Dogs tonight, and probably maybe announce that he's going to be in the Rumble on SmackDown tonight as well. It looks like, according to Dave Meltzer, it sounds like he's going to be called up in the spring sometime after WrestleMania, but it looks like he's going to have some involvement tonight and tomorrow.
Well, since we're talking about these NXT stars, let's talk about this big story that dropped earlier today on Triple H. Now, Triple H, earlier this year or late last year, suffered a cardiac arrest, a cardiac event. We don't know exactly the extent of what that cardiac event was, if it was a heart attack or something else a little more serious. He did have to have some type of heart surgery. He has been recuperating, and we haven't seen him featured on TV, no social media or anything like that. And Shawn Michaels has pretty much taken over the ranks down here in NXT in Orlando, and been the guy running the show down here. And there are reports now that there are no plans for the vice president of global talent strategy and development, Paul Levesque, Triple H, to return to running the NXT brand. And according to another report, WWE officials are very high on Shawn Michaels running NXT 2.0. This is Triple H's baby. This is he birthed this thing, right? Right, he birthed NXT. He gave it life. He raised it. He gave it global recognition. And now it's stripped away. There's no plans of him coming back. What's your reaction to this, of him no plans for him to return back to NXT at all, Sid?
I mean, I just view this all as Triple H is the daddy of NXT. We all know that. But from the very beginning, he's had different mommies, ladies and gentlemen. Dusty Rhodes was the mommy. And the reason I'm calling them the mommy is because they were the ones that were really nurturing and developing these people. Dusty Rhodes was doing that. And nowadays, it's been Shawn Michaels. Look at those Cole and Gargano matches. Look at Cole and O'Reilly. That has triple Shawn Michaels written all over it. The facial expressions, the near falls, the layout of the matches. It's all Shawn Michaels. So this is all this is to me is Daddy got sick and Daddy ain't coming home no more. So mom, now you gotta deal with a single mom.
Papa was a rolling stone.
Who is dating an old preacher named Brother Love, and he's the one who is now the stepdaddy of the NXT 2.0 cast. I mean, it's very sad for Triple H. This is someone that, a lot of people put their faith in for the future of WWE. I know so many fans that have come up to me and been like, "Oh man, Triple H, Vince McMahon's got it all wrong now. I can't wait for Triple H to take over." And I've always been telling these people, "That's funny." I was like, "That's funny." Either it's not gonna happen, or
you're that GIF. You're that GIF on your keyboard that takes a sip and spits it out when somebody says that.
Yes, every single time, because it's like it either was never going to happen or Triple H was going to do the smart thing and just do everything Vince did. Vince has been successful for 60, 70 years. Why would he try to switch it up? Switch up a formula that's working. WWE's goal is to make money. It's not to please me. It's not to please Jose. It's not to please Jeremy. It's not to please any of you out there. It's to make money. And as long as they make money, Vince McMahon is doing his job right. So to continue making money, Triple H was always going to have to do whatever Vince had done before him. So now that Triple H is gone, he's got the whole world in front of him. Maybe we'll see Triple H show up at a different promotion. Maybe we'll see Triple H start his own promotion. There's no plans right now for him to return to NXT. I hope that the next news that we get on him is a mutual understanding and a mutual split between WWE and Triple H, so he has the whole world in front of him.
My podcast co-host Matt Black told me he's going to go buy Ring of Honor from Sinclair.
We're already working on it. All our super chat money on True Hill Heat is going towards buying Ring of Honor and making it Ring of Heat.
Hell yeah, there you go.
I love that idea. Guys, make sure you jump into the comments on our Freestyle Friday edition of the top story, which is about to start here in just a few moments before we answer this next question. So make sure you get into the comments. But really interesting question here. We did have a report earlier today that came down about Shinsuke Nakamura, the current Intercontinental Champion, has been medically cleared. What do you guys see? Do you see him make a spot in the Rumble? Does he do something tomorrow night? Does he do something tonight? Does he put the title on the line and drop it to someone?
I don't know. It could be he could set up something tonight for tomorrow if they've got room. If not, they could just put him in the Rumble, because again, there's been about 8 or 9 guys that have not been announced yet. So there is room to put him in the Rumble since he's now clear.
What about you, Sid? What do you think?
I could see him being just placed in the Rumble, and then you could do the Intercontinental title match between him and Zayn next week on SmackDown.
Yeah,
I agree.
And you could start a feud with whoever eliminates him too. If he does beat Zayn for it, you could start a feud with whoever eliminates.
Oh, Johnny Knoxville is going to be eliminating him, and Johnny Knoxville ain't planned to come back after tomorrow.
I heard some people think that Zayn's going to eliminate Knoxville, but then Knoxville's jackass buddies are all going to go into the ring and eliminate Zayn after that. I can see that happening.
I can see that, but I don't see them setting up an Intercontinental title feud in no Royal Rumble. They don't care about that title. They haven't cared about that title.
They didn't care when he was healthy, so.
They haven't cared about that title in a long time, ladies and gentlemen.
They haven't. All right, guys, it's that time of the show where we jump into all of your questions and your comments in Freestyle Friday. So, guys, go ahead and sound off in the comments. I'm going to go back all the way into the beginning of the comments to address some of your comments and questions ahead of the Royal Rumble. So make sure you sound off right now. Let us know what's on your mind. We got one here. Let's see. Let's see here. The Forbidden Door WWE program for me would be seeing something with Lethal, not a women's feud. Sorry. So do you feel like we may get some men Forbidden Door participants in the men's Royal Rumble this year?
Well, there was that report from WrestleVotes that said there was going to be an unexpected one, and unexpected says, well, I don't think Impact is. I don't know if that's truly unexpected. It's probably going to be more like it Chris Jericho or somebody from AEW that was WWE, but you never know.
I've been telling everybody, set your expectations for D'Lo Brown. Anything above that will be a big surprise. But D'Lo Brown is coming through that forbidden door of Impact.
You think D'Lo Brown's going to be?
You're talking about the real deal now.
I don't think.
Oh man.
Hell, has he even come back to commentary after PCO destroyed him?
There's a reason why they wrote him off of TV. He's trying to throw people off of the scent. He's on social media with Godfather saying he's going to Charlotte. I was like, I know you're going to St. Louis. I'll see you there.
I don't know. That WrestleVotes thing was pretty interesting. That that could say, oh, it could be Moose because you got your Impact title. Yeah, maybe Moose, maybe I don't know, but I don't know. I think there's going to be just one men's shocker from another company. I don't know where or who, but there's going to be one.
What about Carlitos? Does he come back this year for the Royal Rumble? Maybe this once a year appearance in WWE. Carlito, bro, he was extra jacked last year. Maybe he'll be even more jacked this year. But could you see Carlitos making an appearance this year at the Royal Rumble?
I don't know why they didn't sign him. Christ, he was over at that point. He looked good.
I have it under good authority. He makes very good money on the independent scene. Very, very good money. So he doesn't need to sign a contract with WWE.
And Carlito has never been the type to be like a good superstar in the locker room area. If he has a problem with something, he will be vocal about it. And regardless of if he did that the last time or not, WWE has a long memory to those things.
And I said it on Top Story probably last week or so. As hot as Cardona has been, come back for one shot, but he's mentioned it. He's mentioned it in interviews. He said, well, I'll come back for the Hall of Fame. Yeah, he's been the hottest independent star right now. So maybe, like I said, that Mick Foley interview was kind of telling. Like he's saying Cardona is going down that same path as Drew McIntyre.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see him signing with the WWE tomorrow, but I wouldn't be surprised if Cardona is in the Rumble tomorrow, to be honest.
We got a comment here from Eric Powell watching us on Facebook. Can the WWE run the women's division without Becky, Charlotte, or Rousey being champ?
Well, if creative could be creative, yeah, but creative isn't creative, so
no,
it's just a title. It's just a title. It's not. They're not
it's
really
a facade. It's a facade at this point.
But why would you not want one of your biggest stars to be the champion? I'm sorry, guys. Like, I understand we want Liv Morgan to be the champion. We want Naomi to get another run. WWE right now, if you look at their top 4 champions, they really believe that the man makes the title or the woman makes the title. They don't think the title makes the champion. And they proved that with Nikki ASH's Raw Women's title run. So you got Charlotte as SmackDown champion. You got Becky Lynch as the Raw Women's champion. The 2 top women have the title. You got Brock Lesnar as WWE champion. You got Roman Reigns as Universal champion. Those are the 2 top guys.
Acknowledge me.
This is what WWE, and this is why I want Ronda Rousey to come back, because Becky and Charlotte been fighting over that number 1 spot, and Ronda about to break through and just take it. I love it.
I'm with you, Sid. Scott Burke watching us on Facebook. Freestyle Friday. Will Goldberg pop in the Rumble?
No. He might pop up Monday, though.
Let's see here. Valtsaya Tawari watching us on Facebook. Is Kurt Angle winning the whole thing as per Russo?
I don't think he's
Russo. When did he say that? Was it on Monday during Legion of Raw, where he predicted that Kurt Angle's going to come back and win?
He's not even going to be in the Rumble, bro. He might not even be on camera, bro.
He will be in the Royal Rumble to eliminate Happy Corbin and be eliminated by Madcap Moss.
I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble. I don't know. He's jacked. I mean, he looks in Kevin, even our own Kev Kellum out in St. Louis saw him and says he's in tremendous shape. Maybe. I don't know. I don't feel like he's going to be in the Rumble match, but maybe.
Here's an interesting one by Christopher Ryan Cooper. The Rainmaker taking Shinsuke's spot.
Yeah.
Kazuchika Okada. There's been a lot of talk about people wanting Kazuchika Okada in the Royal Rumble. Could it be a possibility?
Oh man, imagine Okada and Shinsuke at Mania for the Intercontinental title. If we could ever book the Intercontinental title.
We're gonna get a one-on-one match at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title. That's not a Nigerian drum fight that only lasts 5 minutes. I don't believe that.
No, it's gonna be
a Nigerian drum fight that was no drums.
No, it's gonna be Okada. It's gonna be Okada and Nakamura in a Punjabi prison.
Man, and that's a hell of a downgrade for Okada main eventing 2 back-to-back Tokyo Dome shows and then being in the middle of the show in a 5-minute match against Nakamura.
That's Vince booking, pal.
Here's a good one from David Barkley watching us on YouTube. Johnny Wrestling cameo. Do we see Johnny Gargano make an appearance at the Rumble?
No.
If he's having his baby right now, maybe.
I think he's gonna re-sign, and Candace, I think they're gonna re-sign together with WWE in the spring. But no, I would not expect him tomorrow.
We got the super chat from Roland Curtis watching us on YouTube. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for the super chat, Roland. The WWE should still build the anticipation of Mickie James entering the Rumble and increasing her chances of winning by making her the 25th through the 30th entrant. Which number do you guys put her at? You put her at number 30?
I would want Mickie to be in there as long as possible, honestly. I would put her in like the first 15 numbers of the Rumble and make her last until like the last 6. I want Mickie to have a good run in this year's Rumble. I don't expect her to eliminate a lot of people, so that's why I think that she should last very long in the Rumble.
Mickie 1, Charlotte 2, and they're both in the final 4.
I like that. Monet Sanders watching us on YouTube. Beth Phoenix said she isn't done after the Rumble, and she did an interview this saying that she wants to wrestle Rhea Ripley. Could that be a possible Mania match? Interesting. I don't know exactly if that's a possible Mania match. I do like the matchup of Rhea Ripley and Beth Phoenix. I think that could be an incredibly physical match between these two women. I don't know if this is set up for a Mania match because right now they got an angle going on with The Miz and Maurice, right? And I think that there's going to be some shenanigans going down tonight, prolonging that story. But I think on paper, Rhea Ripley versus Beth Phoenix, that could be a main event WrestleMania marquee all day.
Yeah, I think the feud ends with Miz tomorrow. I think it's over tomorrow. Edge and Beth are going to win. Edge is going to go on to face probably either KO or AJ at Mania is my guess. I think the thing with Miz is over with after tomorrow.
Yeah, it needs
what
to
say
be
you
over.
said?
It needs to be over, ladies and gentlemen. This has been a very one-sided feud, so I want to see it end.
I have a very important question for the both of you, and this is coming from Paul Koronkowski. Will Mr. Elias be returning to the Royal Rumble and facing Rick Boogs?
Yeah, you guys should get a pool going. Who's going to return? Who's going to come to the WWE first, Elias or Veer?
Good question. Very good question. I mean, I'm pretty sure I saw Elias's tombstone, so I believe he's dead, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah. So I don't see him in the Royal Rumble.
I don't know. I don't know what they're doing with that guy. So
he's sitting and catering.
Yeah.
Just getting to some more of your comments. Christopher Ryan Cooper, NXT Oscar's going to come back and kick everyone's ass. Isaac Walker saying that AJ Styles is winning. And
one of my 2 picks.
Sean Smith is saying Naito in the Rumble.
No.
Absolutely.
No.
Naito.
Jeremy's
I would like it, but he ain't going to be in it.
Naito can come out in his white suit and take very long to take it off to the point that he's in the Final 4. I love that idea.
He just stands on the
stairs. Are you saying he's going to join?
Taking off his jacket and keeping his eye open for the entire 50 minutes.
You saying he's going to join Jacket Time?
Tranquilo. No, please no, because I miss New Japan Kushida and I hate this crap he's doing.
Oh yeah,
right, dude. I'm like,
yeah. Jacket Time is ridiculous.
Jacket Time. It's so. Oh. Got a question here from Jackson Rick watching us on YouTube. Jose, Sid, and Jeremy, how you guys feel about House of Black and AEW, and which female you want to see in it? I say Ruby Riott. What do you think?
I love House of Black, and you know who's going to be in it? It's not going to be Ruby Riott. It's going to be Julia Hart. She's going to turn on the Varsity Blondes and join the House of Black.
The mist corrupted her.
I said that weeks ago that it's going to be Julia Hart, and you notice she's not been her. She hasn't worn the cheerleading outfit. She hasn't. She's had a complete change in character. She's turning on the Varsity Blondes eventually.
I really enjoyed the House of Black, even though a house is supposed to be more than 2 people. So I love the Kings of the Black Throne of Malachi Black and Brody King together, especially Brody with that clean look with the blazer on. And just to say someone different, because of course, Julia Hart is the one that everybody's been talking about joining. I would say Abaddon joining the House of Black.
I'd like to see her more featured.
That makes sense, though. That makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I'd like to see her featured more on TV. You got there's a lot of people they don't feature enough on TV. They're on Dark and Elevation and all that stuff, but not and that's also another thing is like they build their contenders up through the YouTube wins, but the general public watches TV. They watch Rampage and Dynamite, and they need to build them up through that. And that's kind of one of the main issues with AEW right now.
Got another question here from YouTuber watching us, John Elite 45. Thank you for joining us. With Roman recently breaking Brock's record, do you see him breaking Pete Dunne's or Walter's? Got to correct it, Gunter's record?
No, because he's losing the title tomorrow.
There you go.
You agree?
So.
You agree, Sid? You think Rollins is walking out?
You can check out my Royal Rumble preview if you want my prediction for Seth Rollins.
Put it on a T. Put it on a T.
Available right now on our Sportskeeda YouTube channel.
Put it on a T for him. Put it up.
All right, and let's get to our last super chat here from Roland Curtis. Thank you again so much for the super chat, Roland. Imagine if Mickie James was number 1, then she wouldn't get that 10-second anticipation countdown with each entrant. Fans will be waiting for her theme to hit, and that's why I think a later entrant is ideal.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
No, it's not anticipation because she's not a surprise. We know she's in the match. Like, literally, it does not matter if she's 1 or 2 because this is not a surprise entrant. If I said Ronda Rousey as 1 or 2, yeah, that's stupid. You got to build anticipation for the return of Ronda Rousey. Bayley, Asuka, Paige, any other people we talked about. But someone that's already announced, we know Mickie James is coming out. So how is it building anticipation?
You put her at 1. And you're like, oh, look, Vince is screwing the Impact champion. Look what he's doing. He's putting her in at 1. Internet
Not necessarily, dude. Edge came in at number 1 last year, and he won the whole entire thing.
You know what the internet's going to say if she comes in at number 1.
Oh, of course. So
that's
might
why
as well just leave a trash bag in her door.
That's why you put her in at number 1.
Hey, number 1 has just as many wins as the number 30 spot. So.
Yep.
That's very true. Ricky Castillo, our last question of the show. How do you guys rank Sammy versus Cody's ladder match on Dynamite? I think that was a tremendous ladder match on Wednesday night. One of the best ladder matches I've seen in memory in my 40 years of watching the business and following it. I mean, it's my favorite my favorite ladder match, in my opinion, is right up there with Shawn Michaels, Razor Ramon, The Rock, and Triple H. Some of these Money in the Bank matches are tremendous, but we're talking one-on-one. This was like right up there, up in that caliber. How about you guys? How do you feel about that match?
I thought it was a tremendous match. I don't know if it's going to be, I mean, got a long ways to go. So I don't know if it's going to be in the conversation for match of the year at this point with everything that you could get possibly this year. It's not to take away that it was a tremendous match. But I'll tell you what, though, I don't think we're going to see a better move than that cutter off the rope by Sammy. Or off the ladder, but I don't know. I don't know if it's going to be in the conversation for match of the year at this point. There's a lot that could happen to dethrone that.
I thought that this match was outstanding. The best singles ladder match that I've seen on national TV since Jeff Hardy versus The Undertaker.
One of my favorite matches of all time.
Single match performances in a ladder match. It's Shawn Michaels against Razor Ramon at WrestleMania 10. It's Jeff Hardy in the triangle ladder match or the No Mercy tag team ladder match at No Mercy 99 or WrestleMania 2000. And now it's Sammy Guevara versus in his performance against Cody. Like every little thing, I was just amazed by what Sammy was doing. Even moves he took He was the one that was making it happen. The crossroads off the top, he had to turk his body literally in a different direction without seeing, unlike Cody that just had to do this. Like, I'm just like Sammy Guevara does the swanton and completely impales himself, bend in half. Like
taking that superplex where his feet
How
hit
is
the
he
belts.
not paralyzed? How is he not paralyzed
do you
from
watch
getting that crossroads from the top of the ladder?
Do you watch his vlog at all? Like he is in pain a lot of the time.
There was spots that people not even talking about, like the cutter he did on the concrete floor that had to wreck his back. Like this was like Sammy Guevara could have versed a broom and it would have been the match of the night and a 4 or 5-star matchup. But he versed Cody Rhodes, who was at the top of his game as well. I think that this will be remembered as one of the best matches of the year.
Yeah, I think Meltzer gave it 5.
Yeah, I completely agree, man. I think it was one of the most memorable matches to date, especially when it comes to a one-on-one ladder match, because we don't get those all that much. You know, we get the multi-man ladder matches every year or a few times a year, but a one-on-one ladder match is a lot more grueling, in my opinion, than a multi-man match, because in a multi-man match, you guys are all taking care of each other. You're watching for each other. In a singles match, as you guys saw, it can create a masterpiece, and what we saw on Wednesday night, in my humble opinion, is a masterpiece.
Yeah,
and the first ever singles ladder match in AEW history, and they made it a memorable one.
Yeah, I'm holding my breath on it being a match of the year, because I mean, look what we've already gotten in that category in this month alone, with like Daniel Bryan and Hangman Page going at it, and there's just a lot of things. But yeah, it's definitely going to be truly one of the memorable moments, and we're going to see that. Mike, if you go to Justin Roberts' Instagram and see his front row recording of that cutter, and it is just amazing to see from ringside even.
Well, guys, we want to thank you so much for hanging out with us in the eve of the Royal Rumble. We're kicking off the Royal Rumble weekend hot tonight. We got a fresh SmackDown. Smack Talk's going to be tonight. This guy right down here is going to be with Dirty Dutch Mantel, giving you the post on everything y'all need to know on SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Is going to be tonight at 11:05 Eastern Standard Time, 7:30, 7:05 Pacific. So make sure you guys set the notification so you never miss when we go live or we drop brand new stuff. We got some brand new interviews dropping with AJ Styles, Liv Morgan, top WWE superstars, live from St. Louis. Kevin Kellen's got the exclusive. We're going to be dropping that over the weekend. Tomorrow night, immediately after the Royal Rumble, Jeremy, myself, Rico, and Kevin, live from St. Louis, will be covering the post show for the Royal Rumble. So we got tons of stuff for you guys every single day of this weekend. So make sure you got those notifications and you smash that notification bell so you don't miss when we drop all that stuff. All right, gentlemen, get your plugs in. Sid, go ahead.
Oh, well, you took care of a bunch of them. Check out my content here on the Sportskeeda Wrestling YouTube channel, the Royal Rumble preview that I did earlier with Kenny Bolin. A lot of good stuff. Kenny cutting a promo on Bully Ray's comments on Jon Moxley. Me getting very upset with the powers that be of Sportskeeda asking me to talk about The Undertaker being at the Royal Rumble like it even matters. Check out all that on the Royal Rumble preview, as well as Smack Talk later tonight, and check out the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. Yes, I'm bringing back pointing to the sign, where you can see True Hill Heat 160 tomorrow with special guest Andrew Zarian. So check that out.
Yeah, Jose basically did all my plugs too. I'll be here Monday. We got to run in.
We got to run in. We got a last minute run in. Let's see if we can make this. Whoa! What's he doing here?
Chug. Oh, we got no audio.
He comes with the run in. We got no audio.
Man,
he wasn't prepped.
He threw himself over the top rope.
He just wanted to make a visual appearance. He can't even get the audio to work. Oh, he's out of there. All right, guys. So again, stay tuned to everything we got coming down the pipeline here on Sportskeeda Wrestling. Thank you so much for another awesome Freestyle Friday. For Sid Polar, for Jeremy Bennett, I'm Jose G. Remember, when you guys are watching wrestling, you have to do the most important thing, which is what, Jeremy?
Enjoy wrestling and watch LA Knight win the Royal Rumble. Yeah!
And stop talking about The Undertaker coming back. Nobody want to hear that.
Dong. Yeah!
Yeah!
Dong.
Watch out!